Want to know the latest in soccer? Then listen to the Golden State Media Concepts Soccer Podcast. From MLS, the World Cup, and the Premier League, we've got you covered. The latest updates, the hottest matches, and news on the league's top players. It's the Golden State Media Concepts Soccer Podcast.
David Beckham scores the goal to take England all the way to the World Cup finals.
Listen now.
Thank you for tuning in to the Golden State Media Concepts Soccer Podcast, where we discuss the latest and greatest news in the world of soccer, from the summer's hottest transfers to the top games and competitions from all around the world. I am Ben, the
I'm
world.
Alex. Hey, guys.
Alex alongside me here.
Man, that dance party we had on the intro, that I'm a lot of breath.
Gets better and better every time.
Oh, man, I almost stood up.
We had a breath. We'll have to get some water after our first break for you.
I have water just sitting on my
I
desk.
don't want
and I wish it
you.
was in here.
I don't want you to not have any breath in your lungs to talk about this great soccer show we have here at the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network.
I'm excited to talk about the Euros.
That's what we're going to actually start off with.
Okay, well, why don't you give us a rundown of what today is, and
So
we'll
we're
jump right
kicking
into
off
it.
with the Euros here today. So we have our semifinal matchup set after we had our quarterfinals starting last Thursday, going on through Sunday. So we have our semifinals. They're going to be starting tomorrow. So our first semifinal is Portugal against Wales. And then our next semifinal is going to be on Thursday, Germany versus France.
Woo.
Which I really feel like that's the final right there.
Woo.
But anyway, so over the weekend we had some games, Alex. Did you happen to see any of them? I know you were out of town, but did you see any highlights or?
I had to check for updates on the Germany game, which it hurt. You know, it slowly hurt. It hurt and hurt, you know.
How? They won.
That I had to be without
Oh, that you had to
for
be
so
without
long.
watching it.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. My brother described it as let me see if I can find the exact words he used, because they were very interesting words. He texted me asking if I had seen it, and I said, yes, I did see the score. You know, yay. And he goes, just in one text, he goes, yeah, man. Oh, I got to load it.
It's okay. So I'll talk while you bring that up. So
Yeah, go
Germany
ahead.
played Italy. The game was on Saturday. They ended up going to penalty kicks. So the game ended 1-1. Ended up going to penalty kicks. Germany come out on top 6-5. Germany got the scoring opening through Mesut Ozil. He scores in the 68th minute. Actually, 65th, I'm sorry. And then Italy bounced back. They get a penalty kick in the 75th minute. Jerome Boateng gives up just a silly penalty kick by a handball there in the box. He was flailing his arms everywhere as a cross came in. And then Leonardo Bonucci scores the penalty to equalize the score there for Italy. They play 30 minutes of extra time, no score. And then Germany wins at 6-5 in PKs. That PKs was so crazy.
So, as my brother says, best, worst PKs I've ever seen. I said, how so? He said, terrible misses, but very dramatic.
So many misses. I think each country missed at least two.
He told me my boy Schweinsteiger whiffed on one.
Ozil had another penalty he missed. He hit the post. He had one saved earlier against Turkey in the earlier part of the tournament there. So Mesut Ozil not doing great with the PKs. Really, Arsenal players as a whole. Granit Xhaka misses his PK when they lost in the round of 16 to Poland. So Arsenal players not doing great with their PKs. So
Shame,
yeah, but Germany do advance. So it was.
Ooh.
We predicted it would be a really close game. I said I would not be surprised if it went to PKs, because both these teams' defenses have been absolutely outstanding. Germany gave up their only goal that they have given up the whole entire tournament in this game to Italy.
Silly thing,
And
too.
it came not even from open play. It came from a penalty. What I found interesting, Alex, was Antonio Conte, who is the Italian national team manager, also going to step in for Chelsea, start of next year. Leonardo Bonucci takes the penalty kick for Italy. He has never taken a penalty kick in his entire career. He's a center back. Obviously, you don't see the center backs, the defenders, taking PKs. I found it interesting that he gave the PK to Bonucci. Never taken one before, and in this moment, down 1-0 to Germany, the world champs, games winding down, you have about 15, 20 minutes, depending on how you look at the extra time, and he gives it to Bonucci. Credit to Bonucci, he stepped up and hit it, but I was like, wow, I can't believe that.
Maybe they knew something us as fans don't know in terms of what they do in practice, and on top of the fact that the fans and the German national team didn't know, because he's never taken a PK.
He's probably the last person you would expect, so you have no idea tendency-wise where he likes to go or anything, but I was just like, wow, I could not believe that, because I was looking at the score, and I see, Bonucci just scored. They must have scored from a set piece, like a corner, a free kick where they lobbed a ball and he headed it home. And then I read, it was a penalty, and I'm like, wait, what? Why would you give your center back a penalty kick? You'd think it'd be an attacking player. But anyway, so Germany do advance. They did end up winning in PKs. On the other side of that bracket, we have France absolutely steamrolling through Iceland. They won 5-2. That game was on Sunday. Olivier Giroud played really great. He had 2 goals and an assist. Griezmann added 1. Paul Pogba, his first goal of the tournament. Dimitri Payet. So no real surprises there. Credit to Iceland for even getting to the knockout. They were welcomed home from their trip to France back in Iceland with just crowds crazy. Just such a great tournament they had. The real underdog of the whole tournament. It gets to the last 8. That's great for them.
I was really hoping they would have won that game, but it was a hard
France,
matchup.
You could say France is maybe favored to even beat Germany, but we'll talk about that a little later. Some other of the quarterfinals there. The big surprise to me was Wales. Wales come out on top of Belgium on Friday, 3-1.
I called it.
Yeah, as far as Belgium go, I did pick Belgium to win it all, so my pick is out of it. Wales and Belgium were actually in the same qualifying bracket.
Yes, they were.
Wales got a win and a draw against Belgium, so they did not lose to Belgium, and obviously they won here 3-1. Belgium, Eden Hazard played, but he had, he was not 100%. He had a thigh injury. They had Jan Vertonghen. He was out. He's out for 6 to 8 weeks now. He tore some ligaments in his ankle, so they weren't at 100%. Obviously not an excuse, but they played great. And Wales didn't even have Gareth Bale, their Welsh superstar, score for them. So they got 3 goals from not Gareth Bale, so that's huge for them. And then they're going to be playing Portugal, who came out on top over Poland in penalty kicks last Thursday. So what you mentioned in that game, if Poland want to have a chance to win, they need to get Robert Lewandowski going, one of the best strikers in the world. And he started with a bang. He scored in the 2nd minute. So right away, Lewandowski puts Poland up top. But then the young super kid from Portugal, Renato Sanchez, 18 years old, Alex, such a young budding star for the Portuguese. He scores in the 33rd minute to make it 1-1. They end up going to penalty kicks, and Portugal come out on top. So our semifinals are Portugal versus Wales. So we have Ronaldo versus Bale, the Real Madrid teammates going up there. That game is going to be tomorrow, Wednesday. It's going to be at 3 o'clock Eastern time on ESPN. And on Thursday, we have Germany-France. Same time, 3 o'clock Eastern on ESPN. So who do you like coming out of both of these semifinal matchups? And then we would have the final on Sunday between the 4 teams, whoever came out in the next 2 days.
Portugal-Germany.
Portugal-Germany, okay. You know what? Wales are riding a high. They are going to be without Aaron Ramsey, though. You could argue that Aaron Ramsey has been their best performer all tournament. He's got 4 assists. He picked up his 2nd yellow card, unfortunately, in the last game there against Belgium.
Such a silly rule.
I hate that rule because here's how it works. So the yellow cards reset after the quarterfinal game, like after it's over. So if you did not get, so say you only had 1 yellow card after the quarterfinals, then it resets to 0. Ramsey's problem is he picked up his 2nd yellow in the quarterfinal matchup. So that means he's going to miss the semifinal. It would have reset after that. So if he would have just played 1 more game and not got a yellow, he would not miss it. The same thing goes for Germany, who are going to be without a center back, Mats Hummels, who's a great pairing there with Jerome Boateng. He's also going to miss the game against France because of 2 yellow cards. So I hate this rule because I feel like these teams have played 5 games now. Going 5 games without getting 2 yellow cards, that is so incredibly tough. I would like to see it reset after the group stage in Aaron Ramsey's case, it wouldn't really matter because he picked it up in the round of 16 game and in the quarterfinal. So he would have still been suspended if, say, my rule were to go in place. But I feel like playing 5 games without picking up 2 yellow cards is so incredibly tough. I hate that rule because you don't want to see the team's best players missing the games. You know what I mean? Like, picture watching this Portugal game if Ronaldo was not playing because he had 2 yellow cards. Just would not be the same. The teams aren't at full strength because they have a silly suspension. Maybe you make it 3 yellow cards and then you were out. I feel like 2 is either not enough or the games are too far in between when they reset it. Because, like I said, you don't want to see the best players not playing. For Wales, especially Wales, a team that has a few really, really good stars like Bale, Aaron Ramsey, a few more guys that are in the Premier League, Ashley Williams, Joe Allen. But really the 2 heads of there are Bale by a landslide, and then you throw in Aaron Ramsey, and now you don't have Aaron Ramsey in there. That's going to be huge for Wales because they're without a guy who's, like I said, played probably the best of any player on their team, and that's hard to say with a person like Gareth Bale. So I think that definitely is a huge, huge loss for them. He's been great in that midfield for them. 4 assists I mentioned. So I guess you can give Portugal the edge in that instance because without Ramsey it's going to be tough. But something tells me Wales are going to somehow win this game.
That would be an upset in my opinion.
They've been flying high all tournament. The only loss they have is to England. They've looked great. They have the weight of a whole entire nation. It's their first tournament in over 50 years. Something tells me they'll just find a way to do it, but I would not be surprised. You can never count on a guy like Ronaldo. Portugal have not looked great in this tournament, but then again, they haven't lost. So, I mean, it's hard to say.
It's true. Ronaldo hasn't looked himself, but, I mean, it's still Ronaldo.
And then you mentioned Germany.
Yeah, who do you see coming out of that game? I think you might lean more towards France.
Oh, man, this is a tough one. So, I look at Germany. Germany are going to be without Mario Gomez. He's injured. They're going to be without Sami Khedira. He's also injured, a guy who's played in every game. And Gomez has probably been their best goal-scoring threat. He's got 2 goals, central striker. And now they're going to be without Mats Hummels, who has the 2 yellow cards. So he's going to have to be suspended 1 game.
Stupid rule.
I hate that rule. But so without all that, I think France have the edge, Alex. They're the home nation. They also haven't lost. They've looked a lot more impressive in some of their wins as opposed to Germany. I'd say Germany's most impressive win was probably their first round of 16 game there. But, I mean, I think France have looked more impressive. 5-2 over Iceland. Obviously not the game that Germany had against Italy. Much better, much more competitive game compared to Iceland and France. But I say France probably have the edge because they're at home, and Germany are going to be without 3 guys who have played in pretty much every game, have been great in Gomez, Hummels, and Khedira. You're looking at me with like a staring, like you're gonna whoop my butt on the commercial break. But I kind of give the edge to France right now.
You know, I'm arguing
I think regardless, whoever wins this game wins the tournament. I feel like this is the final here.
Yeah, I think they're the 2 real solid teams to be the winners of this tournament. I don't disagree with you in the sense of that France has looked so far more as the more dominant team. Germany doesn't often look like bad, you know what I mean? They don't look like they're lacking anything, but I get what you mean by saying that France has seemed to be the more dominant team. So it's going to be a hard game. It's going to be a real hard game. I told you that I have to go to Vallejo. I have to go to Vallejo on Thursday, so I'm going to have to get updates on the radio. You know, maybe I'll find it on the radio. But
or check my Twitter.
Or check your Twitter. Everyone, I've checked your Twitter before, and sometimes when I go there to check it, it's not on there.
I don't know. We'll be doing some shows, so maybe I won't be able to.
That's true.
Check it out, but yeah, I think that the winner of that game wins the whole thing. So
okay. Well, I'm very much so looking forward to it. Hopefully, Germany pulls it out for my sake. But again, you know, great soccer is great soccer.
That's a truth right there.
I like that you agree with me. We're gonna take a quick break here at the Golden State Media Concepts Soccer Podcast. Ben and I will be right back, and Ben's got some more news on wonderful soccer things. So don't go anywhere, and we will be right back.
Tired of searching the vast jungle of podcasts? Now listen close and hear this out. There's a podcast network that covers just about everything that you've been searching. Hey! The Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network is here. Nothing less than a podcast bliss with endless hours of podcast coverage. From news, sports, music, fashion, cooking, entertainment, fantasy, football, and so much more. So stop lurking around and go straight out to the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. Guaranteed to fill that podcast itch. Whatever it may be. Visit us at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and download us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play.
And we are back here at the Golden State Media Concepts Soccer Podcast. We have our segment here. We're going to be talking about some more transfer news. We have the transfer deadline officially opening here on Friday, July 1st, and it runs till September 1st. But a lot of teams like to sort of get their business done in July because they have the preseason starting up end of July, early August. A lot of teams don't really like to wait until end of August and transfer deadline, which is right at the end there because of September, right at the beginning of September, I'm sorry. They don't really like to get that done because their season's already going on. So you have to sort of transition new players in there in the middle of the season, get them up to speed. They don't really like to do that, so they try to do a lot of their stuff in July, early August. So things are already heating up. With Euros and Copa America going on, you see a lot of players who are playing great for their respective national teams, getting new deals, getting new transfer because they've been doing great, coming off of strong seasons. So a lot of those deals are getting done early as opposed to later, which is great because then we can talk about them. So one team that's doing a lot, Alex, is PSG, the French champions, Paris Saint-Germain. They're doing a lot. Within the last few days, they've just signed 3 players. So on Friday, they signed Hatem Ben Afra. He's a midfielder. He's formerly of Nice in the French league. He's also French. He had a great season. He was voted into the Ligue 1, which is the French league team of the season there. Coming off a huge season. He's now transferring over to PSG. Going to be playing in that midfield role.
Take over that spot that Zlatan Ibrahimovic kind of left available.
Yeah, so Ibra more as the striker role. So I think Ben Afra maybe fits that number 10 role, right in behind the striker.
Well, fit that role in the middle,
Right, so maybe Cavani steps over into that central striker role, and Ben Afra would provide balls to him, through balls, long balls, passes, whatever. And then they also added a couple more players. They added Thomas Meunier. He's a Belgian fullback there. Had a good Euros until they unfortunately got knocked out. And then they also added from Poland, and he's a former Sevilla man, which Unai Emery, who's the new manager there, is also from Sevilla. So they added Grzegorz Krychowiak. That's a great name.
You nailed that.
Grzegorz Krychowiak. He's from Poland. He's more of a central defensive midfielder. Great, good player, and he has that connection there with Emery already, so from Sevilla. So he should transition really nicely into there. He signed for about 22 million euros, about a 5-year deal.
Yeah, looking at Meunier, he's young. He's 24 years old. He just was a pretty solid bright spot on the Belgian national team through Euros while they were still in there until they lost to Wales. He's a pretty solid player. He had league best 88 interceptions throughout his prior year with Belgium, according to PSG. And he pretty much is actually the third signing since they got their new manager as well.
Right.
The money, I want to say it's through 2020. I think I saw
the transfer fee.
Yeah.
I don't think it's very much. You don't really see fullbacks going for
Not
that much.
Yeah.
So those wide defenders. Nowadays, fullbacks are more attacking. They really look for a lot of speed, can get up the field, down the field a lot, and really attack, provide another attacker there, and then get back really quickly if they're on the counter. So,
And I do have for Krychowiak, he has signed a £30 million initial fee that they paid for him. So, 26-year-old, yeah,
it evens up. So,
yeah, 26 years old, still young. He was also one of Poland's best players he was one of Poland's best players also in the Euro tournament this year, as well as the Belgian former player we're talking about. Just a good player for a team that's doing a lot of moves. They're not wasting any time.
Yeah, usually you'd say 3 to 4 transfers is about average for a team. They don't really usually do 2 more than that because you don't want to really mess up the balance of a team. But you have players like Ibrahimovic coming out, So they're really trying to bolster up that squad, and they're doing it right away. 3 players within the last week. The transfer window just opened not even a week ago. So perhaps they're done. Maybe they're looking at more players. I hear that James Rodriguez from Real Madrid may be on their radar. They're a big-time club, the best club in France, trying to compete more at a European level, Champions League-wise. They really have a hold on that French league. They have a lot of money as well, so they can try and attract some big-name guys. They attracted Angel Di Maria not from Real Madrid, but from Manchester United. He was formerly of Real Madrid last summer, and he had a great season for them. So maybe they're not done, but I really don't know.
And then one quick thing, too, before we move on to any other players and transfers. Also, in the decision for Kukoviak, he did state that working alongside Emery, again, was obviously something they counted in his decision. So
yeah, you would imagine so. I mean, it just happened to be the same manager. I didn't even plan that at all. But okay, so anyway, some more, Alex, you're going to like this one. Some Manchester United news. So last week, Zlatan Ibrahimovic formally announced on Instagram, it was last Thursday, that he's going to Manchester United, which we really talked about the last couple of episodes before that, because it was really edged and stone that he was going to go there. But now they're also adding another player. It's going to be a right winger, Henrik Mkhitaryan. This has not been formally announced yet, but he's already taken his medical. Jose Mourinho had his first press conference today. He mentioned Mkhitaryan deal will be announced soon. Everyone knows that Mkhitaryan's going there. Manchester United, their website, their store website, actually leaked out a Mkhitaryan jersey for sale and then took it down. So everyone knows that Henrik Mkhitaryan is going there. He's going to be coming over from Borussia Dortmund, which is in the Bundesliga. I feel gutted for Borussia Dortmund, Alex.
why is that, Ben?
Well, they're losing Mkhitaryan. Okay, so they already lost Mkhitaryan.
Yes.
They're going to be losing Mats Hummels.
Very good player.
To Bayern Munich.
Yeah.
So they're losing Mats Hummels. There's rumors that maybe Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, who's a great striker, there's rumors that he might be going. A lot of teams are interested in him, like Manchester City, Real Madrid. So he might be going. They still have Marco Reus. There's not a lot of rumors that Marco Reus is possibly leaving. So there's a centerpiece there on that left side. But they're losing a ton of great players. They lost Ilkay Gundogan. He went to Manchester City. He's a midfielder. I mean, they're really losing a lot of players. I would not be surprised if people like Aubameyang leave because that squad is getting so much worse now. They already have to compete against Bayern Munich. So the fees there, I say they might be leaving. But anyway, so Henrik Mkhitaryan is going to Man United, as well as Zlatan Ibrahimovic. That front three is going to be incredible between Ibrahimovic, Mkhitaryan, probably Martial or Memphis Depay on that left side. I'd probably give the edge to Anthony Martial right now, the Frenchman. He's had a great rookie season with Manchester United last year, coming over from the French club Monaco. He had a good season. That front three is going to be incredible.
Yeah, it's getting me excited for Manchester United football.
I know you're a fan of them, so you definitely are getting excited. You enter in Jose Mourinho. Jose Mourinho had his first press conference today as Manchester United manager. One thing I found interesting is that he announced that he does not want to play Wayne Rooney in the midfield role next year.
Yeah.
I find that interesting because the only other place you can really put him is in that central striker role. So I don't know if maybe he has an idea of going with like a 4-4-2 formation where he has two central strikers, because you got to think Ibrahimovic is going to be a staple in that starting 11 if he's healthy. And if he's not going to be in the midfield, then he's not a wing player, so he's got to be a striker, I guess.
Well, he was quoted as saying there are many jobs on the field. The most difficult is to find is the one to put the ball in the net. It's normal that a player at his age will change a little bit. And he went on to say, one thing that will never change is his natural appetite to put the ball in the net. Maybe he's not a striker, not a 9 anymore, but with me, he will never be a number 6 playing 50 meters from the goal.
And that's like a deeper midfielder role to number 6. So I don't know, man. Mourinho also mentioned he does look to add another player. They also added Eric Bailly, who's a central defender, center back. So bolster that squad with Ibrahimovic as well as Mkhitaryan. Trying to add one more. There's rumors that they're trying to get back Paul Pogba, who used to be for Manchester United. Is now at Juventus. Really the biggest guy out there as far as transfer-wise. If he were to go somewhere, he'd probably demand a record fee. He's such a great player and so young. He's only in his early 20s. So, But if they're trying to add another player and they're not putting Rooney in the midfield, I don't know. He has to be going up front then, and that means maybe a transition of formations. So we'll have to wait and see on that one. I don't really know, but definitely excited for the Premier League. We have just a little over a month, starting on August 13th. So,
Man, we have a big month coming up next month for soccer, for football, for actual, American football.
Right.
I love August. August is a good month.
And then our last transfer one here in this segment is Nani. Nani, the Portuguese left winger. He's moving from Fenerbahce. He's moving to Valencia in the Spanish La Liga. So Nani had a decent Euros. They're still going on right now. He has 2 goals to his name in the tournament, playing alongside Ronaldo there. Now he's going to be playing alongside his countrymen in the Spanish League. Not on the same team, obviously, but a good move for Nani. I'd say coming from the Turkish side, going into the Spanish top flight is a good move for him. He's going to be getting more recognition there. So a good move for Nani, and I think a good move for Valencia.
Yeah, for a 29-year-old, he's definitely had some success in his time, especially at Old Trafford. He won 4 Premier League titles, the League Cup, the Champions League, and the FIFA World Cup. So Club World Cup, excuse me. So definitely bringing the knowledge of the game and skill and some
former
of
Man United man.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, like you mentioned, he has a lot of history there. He's been a good player for a lot of different places. So
and the deal is reported to be in the region of 8.5 million euros, which equates to
pretty low.
Yeah, equates to about 9.4 million United States dollars. So, he is definitely a good talent. Like you said, he's with Portugal right now. He's still in the Euros right now. As like we said, they will be playing tomorrow against Wales. But we'll see where that goes. Yeah, he's a good player. He's definitely a good player.
Yeah, I think it'll really help them. They're really trying to get, they really flutter around that top 4. Valencia does, trying to make a push now. They're obviously behind the giants of Real Madrid, Barcelona, and Atletico Madrid. So maybe they'll battle teams like Sevilla in that Spanish top flight around the top 4, top 5 range.
Okay, it's interesting to see, man. All right, we're going to take one last quick break here at the Golden State Media Concepts Soccer Podcast. Ben and I will be right back. You guys don't go anywhere.
Do you want to be healthier, yet you just don't know what to do? All these shows telling you this and that, but nothing seems to work. Well, listen close. Golden State Media Concepts has got something great for you. The Health and Wellness Podcast dedicated to workout trends, healthy eating habits, diet, and everything about healthy living. Join us in our banters as we help you not just live life to the fullest, but live it to the healthiest.
Are you living it to the healthiest, Alex?
Nope.
Why is that?
I don't know. You know what my life motto is? It's. I took it from this video. I just asked you if you knew earlier, called Marcel the Shell with shoes. It's this little shell, and it's like they voice it. It's really funny, but he goes, "What's your life motto?" And she goes, "Life's a party, rock your body."
It's not a bad one.
Boom. Life's a party, rock your body.
That's not a bad one. I mean, I can't go against it.
I appreciate that, Ben.
All right, you're welcome.
Let's get into some fun quick hitters, man.
All right, so you mentioned some quick ones here. This sort of breaking news broke within the last hour, but Geraldo Martino, he was the Argentine national team manager. He has recently resigned from his role there. He's 53 years old. The decision came after the national team suffered a 3rd loss in a major final in 3 summers. They lost the Copa America final to Chile. They lost it again last year to Chile, the Copa America final. And then they lost the World Cup final to Germany. So 3 years in a row now, Argentina has not got it done. He was not there for all of them, but he has decided to take a step down. The Argentine football headquarters had a bomb threat recently. Mm-hmm. It's really, a lot of people are saying it's really corrupted there. So him stepping away, not really surprised, trying to really get out of that situation. So Argentina, now they don't have the guy who was in charge for the Copa America just last year, and then they, as of right now, don't have Lionel Messi, who retired from international play after the game.
And could lose more.
Yeah, so with the World Cup coming up in 2 years, Argentina are going to have to, one, find a new manager, perhaps find a new, basically, head playmaker without Messi there. So we'll have to see how they can sort of cope with this. They've really struggled in times recently not being able to win. They haven't won a major championship in 23 years now. They've lost the last 3 summers in a final of a tournament. There's reports that maybe Sergio Aguero and Javier Mascherano could also follow Messi in that retirement. Mm-hmm. So they have a lot of unanswered questions right now.
And don't forget, they're heading into the Olympics as well.
Right, and then they have to find one really quickly within the next month. So.
That was something that he was voicing his displeasure over, was that the federation was having issues with setting a team up for the Olympics, and it ultimately led to him deciding to step down.
Yeah, so definitely unfortunate news for Argentina, but they need to find a new manager because Geraldo Martino has resigned, I should say. As
Martino has left the building.
He has left the building. He left the pitch.
There you go.
Okay, Alex, did you see who made his long-anticipated MLS return last night?
I think I did. This is first name 3 letters?
Yes.
Does it start with a T?
Yes.
And does it end with an M?
Yes.
Is it Tom?
A different vowel, not a O.
Tim Howard.
But an I. Tim Howard. He's back in the MLS, now a member of the Colorado... where is it right here? Colorado, I don't know, where is it? The name is drawing a blank right now.
You can do it. I believe in you.
Colorado Rapids. There we go. Whew. I keep wanting to say the Avalanche because of hockey. Colorado Rapids.
Yeah.
So Colorado Rapids, he is now back there. He had a clean sheet in his first game back. A 0-0 draw against the Portland Timbers. So definitely not a great result, but obviously better than a loss. So Tim Howard back. Formerly was in the MLS a long time ago with basically the team that transitioned to be the New York Red Bulls now. That's basically where he was. He left in 2003. So it's been 13 years since he came back to the MLS. Who even knew the MLS would be back when he left? But he was formerly of Everton, Manchester United. Had a long spell there at the Merseyside club, Everton. Do you think his sort of experience playing against people in the Premier League, some of the best players in the world, and being a goalkeeper for that long can have an effect on him here with Colorado Rapids? They currently are in second in the Western Conference, the Rapids.
I've always generally liked Tim Howard. He was a pretty solid goalie for the United States national team for a while. I think he can bring somebody who knows the level of competition, whether he's playing like the Premier League, like you said, or against heavy-handed national teams. I think that he could bring that style of play and the knowledge of how to win big games to a not a bad team.
Yeah, the Rapids we mentioned, they're in second place. They're only 1 point behind FC Dallas in the Western Conference of the MLS. They've actually played 2 less games than Dallas as well, so they do have the advantage there. And they've given up 11 goals, which is the least in the whole MLS. So you add a goalkeeper of Howard's caliber, that definitely helps that defense. So I think he has a huge effect playing some of the best players in the world for such a long time in England for over 10 years. I think that has a huge effect, and he can really help Colorado strive towards the MLS Cup, help them in the playoffs, be a leader. A goalkeeper, you're looked at as like the leader, especially of that defense. Mm-hmm. A lot of times goalkeepers are captains of a team because they are such vocal guys, setting people up for like to build the wall on a free kick, like where they want them positioned, things like that. So I think he can be a huge asset to Colorado Rapids.
Okay, I mean, it's interesting to see, man. I'm not as huge into MLS as some are, but I'll have to keep up with that now, knowing that he's on the team.
Yeah, MLS also, there's a look that maybe Andres Guardado, he's a Mexican international star. He plays in the Dutch league for PSV Eindhoven. There's reports that he might be looking towards moving to the MLS. You had people like Giovanni Dos Santos, who recently came over. He's also from the Mexican national team. He plays for the Galaxy. He formerly played in the Spanish top flight. So maybe he is going to be following his international teammate into the MLS. We'll have to wait and see. He's a really good midfielder, great box-to-box midfielder, captain of the Mexican international team. So perhaps that he could move into the MLS. The MLS is really, it's behind here in America, obviously behind the big ones like basketball, football, baseball. But it's starting to build steam because they're picking up some of these aging European legends. Like David Beckham really started that train. Now you have people like Kaká for Orlando City. You have Steven Gerrard, who plays for the Galaxy. Robbie Keane also plays for the Galaxy. So they're getting these like aging European football stars to come over to the United States, which I think is really helping the nation get into soccer. Because they're like, oh my God, Kaká, I remember him on AC Milan in Brazil. Steven Gerrard, I remember him for Liverpool. So I think it's really helping raise popularity here. So we'll have to wait and see. People like Andres Guardado would also benefit from that. So
okay. Now, do we have any more news?
Yeah, one quick one. It's actually about a video game. So FIFA 17. I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be coming out in September, early September. I believe September 10th.
Okay.
They're leaving EA Sports, who makes the game.
Oh.
They're leaving the decision of who to be on the cover up to the fans.
I thought you were saying they're leaving EA Sports. It's like, no way.
No. they're leaving the decision to be what athlete's going to be on the cover up to the fans. So
Much like Madden the last few years, they do the Madden cover vote for the athlete.
Right. It's going to be a little different this year because I feel like Madden has one athlete for each team, and then they narrow it down, right?
Somewhat, yeah.
So on this one's a lot different. They have it narrowed down to 4 people. Okay. So it's Eden Hazard, who is Belgian and plays for Chelsea. Mm-hmm. Marco Reus, the German who plays for Borussia Dortmund. They have Anthony Martial, the Frenchman for Man United.
Yes, sir.
And they have James Rodriguez, the Colombian who plays for Real Madrid. So as far as who goes on there, I really don't care. I'm going to buy the game if, whoever's on there. As far as who I think could go on there, it's a vote, so the fans are voting. I think Martial's probably the favorite. Man United, probably the most popular team, maybe in the world, definitely in England. So I think he has the benefit of the doubt there. Eden Hazard, also of Chelsea, a really popular team, really great player. I don't really know. What do you think?
I think both of them probably have the better shot. Royce I know him, obviously. I know him well, but
German.
Not many people pay the same attention to it. So it's different, It's done differently.
Right. I think it'd be interesting if James Rodriguez is to get the vote, because they have another soccer game, which is Pro Evolution Soccer, which is made by Konami. And Gareth Bale is on the cover of that game. So if you have James Rodriguez, you could have 2 Real Madrid guys on the cover of the game in the same year.
Wow.
That's happened in the past because Neymar was on the cover of PES. And then Messi has been on the cover of EA forever.
For like the last 4 years.
I think it's interesting that Messi's not going to be on the cover of FIFA this year.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
He's done it for, like you said, so many years in a row. I think it's been at least the last 4. But
yeah,
we'll have to see. So it's Royce, Hazard, Martial, or Rodriguez. So, and I'm not sure when that's going to officially be announced. I'm sure they're putting it on like Twitter and Instagram, Facebook, a fan vote. You can vote by using hashtag the player's last name in FIFA 17. So we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, I really don't care. I find it interesting that Messi's not there though. Messi's being left out of a lot of things now. It's calling it a quits from being on video game covers as well. Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe I missed the press conference.
Maybe we didn't see that press conference. I don't know.
Maybe I missed that tweet. Maybe I missed that vote. I don't know. But you know what, man? I'm so excited for the Euros, but we got to go. We can't talk about it again until next week. And we'll have a winner to announce
final on
next
Sunday.
Tuesday. So we will see you guys then. As always, you can find us on the Golden State Media Concepts Facebook page at gsmcpodcast.com as well. You can find us on YouTube, iTunes, and Twitter. So Twitter and Instagram, the handle is going to be GSMC_soccer. YouTube will be the GSMC podcast, the soccer podcast. On iTunes, if you search GSMC Soccer, you can find us on there, on Stitcher, SoundCloud, any streaming site pretty much you can think of, you can find us. I don't know what else you got.
Now, one more name I did not mention on the transfer list. I don't know how I left him out here. It just sort of crossed my mind. But Michy Batshuayi, he's a Belgian striker formerly of Marseille in the French league. He has signed with Chelsea. So Chelsea adding a really good young striker. I believe he's in his early 20s. Had a great season last year for Marseille. Now he adds into Chelsea and Antonio Conte's squad. Interesting to see how they do with Diego Costa, who's already a striker there. Had a good couple of seasons for Chelsea. Mm-hmm. Maybe they have him on the outs. Maybe they play alongside each other. Maybe they move more so Batshuayi to a new position. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But Michy Batshuayi, he is a member of Chelsea.
That's a hard name to pronounce, huh?
Yeah, he's Belgian. Yeah, he's a good player, but I found it funny that he had a press conference and someone asked him why he did not go to Tottenham. And he's like, why would I go to the Spurs? Why would I go to the Spurs? And then the guy goes, well, they finished 7 spots ahead of Chelsea. And then he's like, I must not have done my research enough. So he was not interested in Tottenham at all. And I found that interesting or funny because I'm an Arsenal guy, so I'm glad he didn't go to Tottenham.
But, I bet you are, Ben.
Yeah. As much as I would have liked to have Batshuayi here, if he's not at Tottenham, it's okay.
Fair enough. Well, as always, we unfortunately have to go until next Tuesday. But like I said, you can listen to all of our podcasts on iTunes, YouTube, SoundCloud, Stitcher, all of the good stuff. We'd like to thank you guys for listening and tuning in. As always, I'm Alex.
And I am Ben.
And we will see you guys on Tuesday. Have a good week.
Absolutely. Hope you watch the Euro final on Sunday, whoever it might be. Hope you enjoy it. It's going to be a good game, I feel like.
Hopefully
and
Germany.
A great cap to the end of another fantastic tournament.
Yeah, Ben, you're just living on cloud 9, aren't you?
Yes. Yes, I am.
All right. Well, from cloud 9, this is Alex and Ben signing off.
Bye.